Good evening and welcome to a new edition of To The Point. This evening we'll be discussing quite a new subject, which is smart ports and blockchains. With us to discuss this issue is Dr. Hesham, Youssef, expert in smart ports, to say the least. Dr. Hesham, a pleasure to have you with us this evening on To The Point.
All right, thanks so much.
For people who are not aware of, when we say smart ports, what's a smart port?
Okay, people have different, perception and definition for smart ports, and it's coming from their previous experience, educations, and customers' experience. But all in all, just to make it simple, right now actually for the IMO, for example, the deadline is 2023 for all ports worldwide to apply the technology of BCS or Port Community System. The Port Community System in general is kind of software which is, collecting all the, the inputs of the ports and just, put it in a dashboard, giving KPI for the ports management for better results and to optimize the operation of ports. It's not an, it's an option now. We have to. We have only 2 years to meet the deadline in Egypt, for example, and we are working very hard with the Egyptian authority, Suez Canal and Egyptian ports actually, to implement these solutions for the whole country, like the national single window for port or port community system.
So we have 2 years before all our ports have to be smart.
Yes,
connected to a certain, in a certain fashion.
Exactly. It's the problem now with ports, not in Egypt, worldwide actually. They are, it's different technology. This technology is not communicating together. At the end, you don't, as a management of the ports, you don't have a KPI in front of you to give you indication about the performance, about the efficiency of the operation, and so on and so on, or even to alarm you or give you alert in case of incident like the Suez Canal, the recent accident.
I was just going to ask you, because should we have such a system in place? How would it have helped in this crisis?
It's a big story actually, because the crisis of the ever-giving in Suez Canal actually just had emphasized actually the importance of AI, which is artificial intelligence, and data science in ports actually. That was the the ring actually that we have to move. What if we have, the question is, what if we have the AI and data science in place before these things happen? It would help a lot to mitigate the crisis. To just let people know, the Suez Canal blockage for 6 days have caused the U.S. economy, for example, $45 billion. So just for so you can imagine what is the effects. The thing is, what went wrong? The question is, what went wrong? To be quite honest, there is no system can secure 100% or prevent this from happening in Suez Canal actually, because this was like a mechanical failure, unexpected. But the thing is, with what we can do to prevent this in future, what we can do to make our ports smart ports, shift to smart ports, and our Suez Canal to be smart Suez Canal. So, basically actually the blocking of the Suez Canal have emphasized the importance, as I said, of data science and artificial intelligence in maritime operations, and combined with the COVID-19 pandemic provides an opportunity for the sectors to upgrade our infrastructure. Worldwide actually the ports data scientists are trying to work out how much of an impact the crisis will have on its container handling operation. And it's an opportunity to look forward to find ways to improve our infrastructure and provide a smoother experience for our clients. Upgrading to a smart port technology actually make container handling more efficient and has become even more important since the COVID-19 pandemic, as we said. The smart Suez Canal actually walking the path towards achieving autonomous ships. And this is very important actually, because right now actually we are not prepared in Egypt actually to receive or serve the autonomous ships, which is automatic ships without, without manpower. And that is one of the biggest challenge actually for the maritime industry worldwide only, not even to prepare the boats and to prepare the maritime industry to, how are we going to work with ships without crews, for example. Like, for example, if you can imagine that when you go through Suez Canal, for example, that you have manpower is going, to the ship to just guide the ships and just to do some kind of administrative work. So how are you going to do that with this kind of ships? The issue was not that much the results, but the end result actually, and the process itself, and how we can, achieve this is because it's a lot of steps. It has to go parallelized to each other.
Is it expensive?
Not really, actually. The business model to apply the smart board actually is some kind of pay per cost. So at the end, actually, the government is not paying for it. The final client is paying for it. There is a certain business model actually to make this happen actually.
So would it save money to have your ports
absolutely
smart?
Absolutely, actually. The thing is, you are working to, increase the, like for example, if we are talking about Suez Canal, we going to increase the Suez Canal through outputs, decrease the congestion, increase the canal safety, increase sustainability, prepare for smart ship transiting the canal, for example. When talking to about smart boards, actually, you are reducing time, you are reducing efforts, and you are making it easy for clearance for goods and customs. So that is saving money by saving time and saving efforts for everyone.
Sometimes there could be a disadvantage to technology as well.
Okay.
If your port is smart, if all our ports in Egypt are interlinked in a smart network, is there any fear from any malfunction that can cause any form of harm? Because here you're talking about data all being, you're automating the system. You're digitizing the system.
You see,
what are the side effects?
There is no side effect actually. Actually, it's improving, the environment and improving the ecosystem for the commercial sector and for the board itself. Right now, actually, it is the age of blockchain, for example, and you talked about blockchain. And as you might know that Egypt already started to implement the blockchain in customs, Ministry of Finance. And
can I just interrupt you and just to explain to the viewers who are not aware of what is blockchain?
What's blockchain?
Because we're talking about technologies that are not really familiar to everybody here.
Well, it's a long story to explain actually, but a blockchain in a very simple way is a way to exchange assets and information or whatsoever in a very secured way and just cut down the middle tier. Okay. Like, let's say, for example, I am a client to a bank and I'm doing bank transfer from my side to some other banks outside of Egypt. So there is some kind of middle tiers between me, my bank, and the bank outside. So the blockchain actually is matter of technology that taking these assets and moving it to the other side with in a very
cutting the middleman.
Cutting the middleman in a very secured and encrypted way. Actually, it's not you cannot hack it, you cannot steal the information, you cannot do anything wrong, illegal activity on this transaction, and you just cutting the middle tier and saving the cost. It's in a very simple way, but just to explain it, it's a long story. Sorry for that.
So blockchains cut corruption?
Of course, it's absolutely killing corruption, killing bribes, killing illegal activities, and it's going to change the economy. It's going to change the society. It's going to have a very deep impact on our life. Actually, right now, actually, basically banking are just going to affect banking and shipping industry. It's going to affect shipping industry. It's going to speed the process, save the money for clients, for example, and just prevent corruption. Yeah.
Let me play the devil's advocate here. Would it increase cyber crimes?
Not really, actually. That is
Because
completely
this is, whenever we talk about smart chain, we attend to the word security and cyber.
You know, the nice thing about blockchain actually is it just, it's a way of, it's very highly secured technology actually. No one can hack it, no one can change it. I mean, because it's, data is stored in blocks, and blocks is, transferred to, like connected to other blocks with hash. So it's like a military encryption. If you can imagine that you have a cube, the data is copied in all these cubes, your data in kind of hash. To change or hack one block, you have to change the whole cube.
Okay.
So you can do that.
It's not easy to do that?
It's impossible actually to do it. Like for example, one of the things that if you want to hack, for example, a cloud or a server, you know where is the cloud and you're going to hack it. But in blockchain, you don't know where you're going to hack. Which block, and if you try to change the block itself, you cannot do that because other blocks is going to verify that someone is trying to cheat, and they are not going to allow this.
So
it's a very mechanism.
So in a way, it's a security issue. It's secure.
It's very secured technology, and this is actually the next generation actually for internet and for everything.
Okay.
So it's going to be very, very secure transaction everywhere.
How is this related to the smart ports, the blockchain? How are they interlinked?
Yeah, I mean, the blockchain actually is part of the steps to move towards the smart port actually, because it's not one step you have to do. It's different steps you have to work together. For the blockchain, we're using it in the logistics and shipping industry, to transfer the documents of vessels for shipment. Like for Suez Canal, for example, if you're going to Suez Canal, that you have to submit certain certificates and certain paperwork to the Suez Canal Authority. At this point, actually, they are doing this manually. Someone is going, to the ship and collecting this by hand, and just go down. This all things can be done, through the blockchain, for example. For Port Authority, when ships approach the ports, they have to deliver also their paperwork. So this can be done through the blockchain for the vessel and for the shipment. Egypt started already to do the shipment, which the Advanced Cargo Information, ACI, and that is mandatory for all shipment coming outside of Egypt. The clients have to go and just send the documentation through the blockchain from their side to the Egyptian customs here. That is going to facilitate the trade, it's going to cut costs, it's going to save a lot of money. Because it's very simple that, what was the system before the blockchain, what was the system before after the ACI. Before we apply the blockchain, if you are importing any goods, for example, you have to get all the paperwork and you have to go through a very long cycle. It takes a lot of time to clear the goods. But now we're going to have this documentation before the arrival of the goods, and you're going to start to pay your dues and just finish all the administrative work.
The manpower, will it reduce manpower? Will it replace labor?
The fact that people are just trying to resist the AI, for example, and this kind of technology, and claiming that it's going to take their jobs or cut their jobs or whatsoever.
Whenever we talk about smart, it means that the job that a few can do can be done by a machine.
Let me say that, think of this from another angle or from another point of view. That, for example, that there is a lot of new jobs created by this technology. Like, for example, for blockchain, you have blockchain developer, you have data scientist, you have artificial AI scientist, you have AI developer, programmer. So it's not a matter of cutting jobs, it's a matter of creating new jobs. You know, if we go like 50 years ago or 60 years ago, you will find a lot of jobs, which is not, you know, you can find this job right now. We don't have it anymore. So that is a, you know, the life, you know, life cycle is that you get a new jobs, you get old jobs. So the thing is, people have to move to learn and to be trained on these new technologies to get a better jobs and so on and so on. So I wouldn't say it's cut jobs. It creates more job actually.
It creates jobs with certain people with certain calibers.
Yes.
How do you see the market here when it comes to the qualified employees needed?
Well, see, I mean, there is always gap between the education and what we get in universities and schools and the, you know, the what is the market needs actually. And for that reasons, you know, all corporate in America, for example, or Europe, they have something called internship. You have something called summer training, that you have to train people actually to gain the you know, practical experience. You know, but right now, actually, I can see a lot of improvement in Egypt actually in terms of education, universities. You know, we have a lot of qualified, skilled people, and we have a lot of people who want to learn and want to be trained. So it's getting better actually, not like before.
You need computer scientists to operate the smart boards? What kind of qualified? I mean, if we have young people watching us right now.
Well, I mean, it's. I mean, we have leaders worldwide. It's not that much, but we have. You know, we have worldwide companies working. We have like companies who have done Tanger-made port in Morocco, for example. We have one company that's a blockchain for Egypt, and it's a very good company. We have, you know, companies, you know, trying to upgrade the boards everywhere. Actually, you know, it's a huge mission. It's, you know, it's not that easy because you work with a lot of sectors to complete this and get it done. But you know, we will train people. For example, you know, for Port of Alexandria, for example, they are planning to do like a gap analysis. You know, to see what they have already, what they are lacking. And Port of Alexandria is moving to be smart port very soon, actually. The chairman of Port of Alexandria is very interested on that. He is working right now to do that. And this is going to be a pilot or POC, proof of concept, for the all Egyptian ports. Once it has been done and completed, it's going to be, you know, be the same in all other ports. So
how will this help economy? How will it help trade, for example? And the reason I'm asking this is because when we talk about Suez Canal is basically the movement of goods.
Yes.
How will this help? How will a smart Suez Canal help the Egyptian economy?
You know, like what I said, actually, you know, it's the nature of life that you have to upgrade your infrastructure. It's not a matter of I have everything. I'm fully satisfied of what I'm doing. You know, we are the best. You know, if we are thinking like that, actually, we are not going to move anywhere. But you know, it's not also you know, when we talk about the ports and maritime, we are not talking about local things. It's worldwide vision, actually. You know, because the problem of the issue was the Ever Given actually incident. It's highlighted the, you know, the fact is that not only the Suez Canal have to change, the whole shipping industry have to upgrade, the whole trade point have to upgrade, because if you look and analyze the incident actually, when the Ever Given actually stuck in Suez Canal on the March 23rd, all the ships have AIS, which is tracking system connected to satellite, you know. Everyone is using technology and program, but what happened actually? You get ships coming everywhere from the north and south, and you get about 400 ships from each side waiting and blocking the roads. So that means actually give alert actually to everybody that we have to stop. We have to analyze what happened actually. It's not a matter of my mistake, of your mistake. No, we are working together. So there's something wrong we have to fix. And what was the lesson learned actually from this? It's lack of communication between the parties, between the shipping industry, between the trade, you know, global trade point, and between the ports and between the Suez Canal. the information was, the thing is, if you have AIS, for example, which is a worldwide system for tracking shipment by satellite, it's AIS alone can't solve the problem, but you have to integrate AI and machine learning, ML, with AIS to analyze the information and give prediction to Suez Canal, to other ships. In this case, for example, if you have the right information, the ships can slow down before going to Suez Canal to avoid waiting and avoid the blockage.
Yes.
That is just one clear example of the business case for Suez Canal.
Can you give us some insight? How does a smart port operate differently from what we have today?
Okay, let's make it very simple, because we don't need to go through a lot of technicalities.
No,
if you have a mobile,
for someone who's not
aware
into that.
Oh, okay. Smart port, very simply, you have a mobile application, and through your mobile application, as a customer, you can do whatever, any activities, inside the ports. That is in very simple way, actually. For the port authority people, they can get a lot of information and get KPI and analyze the information with a dashboard through this, the smart port application. Prediction of, shipping arriving the ports, for example, optimization of the operation in the port, and so on and so on and so on. So it makes things easy through your mobile application or through your web application. You can operate and you can do whatever you want through, through the internet.
Globally, what's the advantage of having smart ports at a global level?
Yeah,
how are we going to interlink those ports?
Like what I said, actually, when you talk about aviation or about maritime, it's not a local thing.
Yes.
We are living in one world, actually. This world needs to be connected. If you see, like for the national worldwide bank, actually, they have something called logistics index, or logistics performance index, LBI. With this LBI, actually, it just gives you like your grade, actually. So one of the weak points in Egypt in our logistics performance, actually, is that the visibility of the goods and documentation is not available. So that is decrease our grade, actually, on the LBI, actually, and giving us not so good grade, actually. So it's all about visibility, 360-degree visibility of goods, container, and so on. We have to, like, for example, I set one example just to make it easy for people. If I'm importing, for example, a shipment for fish or shrimps or meat, and it's coming from, like, for example, from US to Alexandria, for example, the shrimps or meat or whatsoever, it has to be like -20, -21. What happens if someone just unplugs the container, and you get the meat and fish and shrimps defrosted? And what will happen if the ships is one day before entering the Egyptian port, they switch on again electricity, and you get back the electricity. So when you defrost the meat or fish and just freeze it again, that is causing the quality of the meat or the fish.
You lose quality.
You lose quality, and that is one thing is you want to monitor. If I am importer, for example, I need to know what is the temperature of my goods. Whether something happened to the container, someone opens the container or cut it or steal something. You get a lot of incidents like this. People are receiving good and
so when you talk about smart ports, it's not just an automated port.
No, it's a lot of aspects.
It's the shipping, smart shipping.
It's a lot. Smart shipping or smart shipment is part of it. It's a lot. When the smart port definition is very big. You have a lot of things inside this. But what we are trying to say is the automation of ports and logistics to to get a better result and to optimize the end result, actually.
Egypt aspires to have logistics hub in the Suez Canal. This is
logistics area. Yeah.
This is part of the
optimizing
expansion.
the revenue. Yeah.
How does the smart port concept work with the hub that we want to have, or the logistics area that we want to have?
Okay, I mean, it's all, it's all about business, a business cycle. Where the business start and where is the business end? Like if we are like a car manufacturer, for example, there is no one single a car manufacturer in the whole world actually is manufacturing each single part on the car. So if you are manufacturing Mercedes, for example, you are you are importing wheels or driving wheels or or engine, okay? In modern business, actually, you don't keep a lot of stocks in your stores like before, but you have order point, you have like this. So if you don't have the right logistics and the right operations to receive your spare parts and your materials on time, actually, you're going to have a problem in production, and you're going to have problem with everything. So when it comes to smart logistics or smart port, actually, it's all about, like what I said, optimization of the operation and optimization of the economy and everything.
Smart ports, you mentioned something about the environment. The trend now worldwide, and part of the 2030 sustainable goals is green or
Yes, green
environmentally
ports, yes.
safe. How, because we always heard about the green ports, how are green ports related to smart ports? Or are smart ports not green, or are they green?
They are very green actually, because they are just very focusing on reducing the emission of the ships, emission of the operations on like for power, for example, in ports actually. So green ports actually are running on solar system or gas or whatsoever. They are reducing emission. And reducing actually the time and it's finally actually reducing the emission and improving the quality of the air and so on and so on. So it's green boards, yeah.
You said we have 2 years to complete.
2 years.
Less than 2 years, actually.
2 years to be complied with IMO Decree 41, which is BCS, Port Community System, which is BCS is programs actually that each single port worldwide, not only in Egypt, have to apply it, and that is the backbone of the smart ports actually.
How are we doing as far as the timetable is concerned?
Well, I mean, on the 28th, on 29th, actually, we have a workshop actually for Suez Canal and for the Egyptian ports. And we have explained for everyone, and that you guys need to do that. Port of Alexandria have moved very quickly, and they are starting very shortly a gap analysis. After the gap analysis, actually, we're going to start the BCS in a very short program as a proof of concept or showcase for the whole Egyptian ports actually. And after this step, it's going to be, every single port is going to do the same actually in Egypt. So Egypt is moving, but we hope that the leaders and, need to take the initiative and to support us to do that actually. So,
which example do we follow? In other words, is there a smart a country that is adopting the latest technology in smart ports?
Yes.
That's a good
yeah. Even
replica?
you have Rotterdam in Netherlands, you have Hamburg in Germany, and now we have Tanger Made in Morocco actually started, they're doing the smart port. We have a lot of ports in Arab country. Iraq is doing it right now, and you got a lot of African countries start to move toward it. Everyone has to move toward it. But the rule of thumb here is Hamburg or Rotterdam.
Yeah. This is the
yeah, I mean, they are just, rule of thumb or benchmark we are just trying to mimic here for us, for example. Yeah.
What do they have? I mean, when you say they're the most advanced, what's their prototype is different from the other smart ports and what makes their port stand out?
It's, for example, for Port of Rotterdam, they have digital twin. The digital twin is kind of, copy of the port, but it's digital. And this is very important actually for us to do that for Suez Canal even, or, or for the ports actually. Because basically one of the, the very important point actually we need to talk about is scenario planning actually. If we are predicting what is going to happen and we know what we will do, that will mitigate any problem. For the case of Ever Giving in Suez Canal actually, if we do have a digital twin actually for Suez Canal and we can predict these things, we could have just mitigate the events actually. I'm not saying prevent it, but mitigation is just kind of reducing the risk actually.
But
and reducing the
you
second
have a
point
vessel that entered the canal at an illegitimate speed, illegal speed, lost control, and it blocked the canal sideways. Should a signal be delivered to other vessels in the background?
Well, thank you for the question actually.
How would it have helped?
Yeah,
Because
man.
this is the only route.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very good question. Thank you for that. And actually, it's a valid question. And, after this crisis, actually, there is a lot of scientists and programmers worldwide, actually, are working, actually, to solve this problem. Can we just, use the AI, for example, in the shipping industry, in the vessels industry, to, collect the information from the engine and from the movement of the ships, and just connect it to the weather, to whatsoever, and come up with a module that can tell you that something is going to happen. Actually, that's something valid. That's something is, big corporation is working on it right now to combine the AI with the, vessel engineering to come with something to predict vessel behavior in future. There was just something going around the internet for the Ever Giving actually, that the ship was cycling or around actually on the Gulf of Suez actually, in a very strange way before entering the canal. For example, I mean.
Okay.
So and the ship itself have a black history before it have so many incidents, in Europe. So yeah, I mean, this is a valid question, and companies are working on that right now. Yeah.
So basically, it's type of programming needing to be
Software, yes.
Software
Yeah.
installed in vessels.
It's a kind of AI and machine learning, and it's collecting information and just comparing.
How is this related to smart ports?
Prediction or ETA, for example, expected time of arrival for ships is very important for the logistics and maritime industry. And, ETA, for example, is a part of the smart port. That's something, blockchain is a part of the smart port. Other parts, it's component actually. It's not like, when we say smart port, it's not one program, it's not one technology. There is a lot of aspects actually to come to the final image of the smart port. It's not one component, it's a lot of components together performing this. But you can just say this, as I said, the BCS, the port community system, is kind of the backbone or nervous center to connect all these dots to come with one dashboard. For example, if I say you have CCTV here or cameras, and the gates for the port is not connecting to this and to that, everyone is just playing like a single machine actually. The BCS is collecting the, the informations and inputs from all single technology and just connecting it together and giving you a dashboard which you can analyze your KPI. That's it. Very simple way.
Is there another issue which you feel you need to address to the public about the smart port?
Yeah, I mean, my message actually to the leaders and that we have to, encourage people to go for this digital transformation, especially with ports. because there is a lot of resistance and and a lot of bureaucratic steps need to be taken out. We need the backing of the leaders and president actually to make this happen actually very quickly in Egypt. We need the backing, assistance, support of Lieutenant General Kamal Wazir, Minister of Transportation. We need the backing also of the Maritime Safety Authorization to remove any bureaucratic steps, to eliminate paperwork and stamps and this kind of thing, and just support us to make it happen.
Dr. Hesham Youssef, thank you very much for joining us. Unfortunately, our time is up. I'd like to thank you, the viewers. We'll see you same time next week. Until then, good night.